were some of the key factors in your decision to use Mercury PMI?
My organization is a European organization. I needed to have a company that could deliver the same quality across all the different countries. This was one of the key success factors. The second one was also the knowledge in business management of Mercury PMI to make sure that looking at all the aspects of this transformation, I could rely on a company that had already expertise with the right people to be with us delivering that training.
Pierre, how did you determine the key development that you wanted your team to have?
I've been always looking at the complexity of a business. It was first of all a will. I had the will personally to develop the right management. To be successful, it means that you need to have the right skills, but ongoing skills. So I've started with this will, and then I looked at I would say all the different areas of management. And if I may, I can tell you that it's not only sales. Having a sales management that knows only sales is not sufficient. I looked at sales, business planning, legal, IT, operation, all those aspects that requires deep knowledge as well as leadership to drive the end-to-end. Because at the end of the day, to be successful, you cannot just say, well, I did my job, but I failed because legal was not ready, because IT was not ready, because always finding excuses. So to have the top of the cream, we're always talking about top talent. And for me, top talent is more just than, I would say, a website, and we determine the top talent. It's by the fact being able to deliver whatever is the environment, crisis, a competitive new area, and so on and so forth. So critical for me to have the will to look at all the aspects of what is management and to build training linked to that.
Pierre, given that basis, how did we work together to develop this program?
This was a critical aspect of that program. I've been in training with HP many times. Most of the training that HP developed with a lot of companies, they were, I would say, too theoretical, not linked to the day-to-day. If you want the people really to be engaged with what you are doing, you need to be close to the reality. While you are developing modules that will help them to step back, to have the big picture, you need to be close to the reality. And what we've done with your company has been excellent, great, just because you've been able to spend the time with my team, with my organization, to understand the specificity of this ecosystem and to develop linked to our day-to-day business, to develop the simulator, which was, tailored to the day-to-day business they were doing, and then adding complementary module to help them to evolve. What was excellent, really efficient with you and your organization has been, first of all, the reality of what they were doing every day. So they could, engage day one. And I remember, we've developed, 3 days, 2 times 3 days meeting, training. So day one, to engage. This is my world. And by the way, with you, what we've developed is a little bit of trap. So we've had this simulation about, this is the case, this is the business case, this is what we're going to do. And at some point in time, we've plugged a couple of, I would say, issues to see if whether or not, they could determine the problem. This really helped them after the day one to really engage, to say, okay, they wanted to succeed. So this helped really all the people to engage in the program. And then, of course, with your knowledge and the knowledge of your company, adding the different module, like, thinking about the day-to-day, thinking about, the future of the organization, thinking about ops and people management. So this really was a key success factor. So we've got two results. One was for them to engage, but at the same time to help them on their day-to-day to think about the gaps between where they thought they were and where they were really. So, and then, of course, to help them to evolve at the level I wanted them to be.
I know the program that was eventually developed wasn't just about the on-site training. Can you describe some of the other components that were critical to its success?
We looked at outside of the training what could be very good for the people to do to make sure that this was not a one-shot. That's the reason why we determined with HR, human resources, what we call the coach and the mentoring. The mentoring and the coach were quite critical to make sure that after the first wave of the training, we could get the continuity of what they were doing. Because when you want to develop the people, it's a portfolio of skills. And in some of them, you are at ease, in some you are not. Well, we can take financial, for instance. We can take strategy. We can take operation as the three big module. After the first training, we were making sure that the people, they had the time to spend with their coach and mentor to work on the area where they were not at ease, and to be able to develop the skills to become to perform better in those areas. So this was one. What also I did, do country reviews. So the people, they were attending the fly eye training, I was making sure that when I was doing country review, they were applying what they've learned at the training. So it was ongoing checkpoint.
What have been the steps that you've taken to ensure the implementation of the training?
This is a very good question and critical to me. The way I've done that was, doing reviews at the country level. And during the review, I was looking at the ability for the manager they've been through that training to demonstrate that they were really able to articulate what they've learned during the training. And I was more looking at the ability to assess where they were, to take the decisions, corrective actions, more than just looking at the numbers. And this was done on a regular basis. I was driving across EMEA for the one they went to the training and challenging them in the areas of strategy, planning, looking at the way they were looking at the business, using all the tools, of course, not trying to trap them, quite frankly, but knowing the numbers, I was testing them on their ability to go beyond the numbers and to go beyond, I would say, the excuses to say, I have a market issue. What do you do about that? You assess the market is a problem and you go beyond that. Looking at the organization, looking at operation. If we want to have the sales force efficient, we've trained them on what to do, and I was testing them on a regular basis.
How have you ensured that you achieved the longer-term business results you were looking for?
I like the word longer term. Success is based on longer term. You need to have consistency over time to get good results and to make sure that what you are building will last forever. This was part of my ambition, my view of developing the business. Everybody is capable to be successful short term. First of all, I did select a team that they were willing, to be with me for a long time, not for 1 year, 2 years. I've put in place, with human resources, a plan to say, I prefer to select the right people. They're going to stay in the job 4, 5, 6 years. I know that, this is not the mentality of some of the companies. I've been with HR worldwide in different companies, and they believe that turnover is good. When you are managing revenue and margin and profit, what's more critical is the quality of the people, because to deliver the profit, you need to have the knowledge. So what happened is I've been following, the people in that training for, a certain period of time, as well as helping them, and this is critical, helping them evolving in the company, making sure that they could learn from the company in different, jobs.
I know that you, having taken your immediate reports through the program, you then tumbled it down to a lower level. Why did you do that?
Who is managing the business? The first level. Employees are the one that they are successful. By the way, you can have the best product on earth. At the end of the day, employees are the key people to make it happen. When you have a vision and you have a big ambition, you need everybody on board. And that's the reason why I took that program from the top management down to the top talent, to make sure that everybody was aligned with the strategy, did embrace the strategy, and was ready to execute. Because then it's a machine. When everybody, people, they are aligned with you, they don't need to think about, is the strategy right or wrong? They know the strategy, so they execute. Then you get the result.
If other people were in a similar situation, challenging marketplace, profitability coming under pressure, if you like, and wanting really to develop their people into general managers, what would be some of the advice that you might give them?
My first advice would be, first of all, for themselves to be convinced that it's necessary to have a such training. They need to be convinced. Then they need to look at the goal they want to achieve, where they want to put their team. And third, to be personally ready to spend the time. You are managing your time, you are managing your priorities. And there is also a very important component, which is result comes after you are making the investment. We have the tendency to forget, specifically in some of the companies. They believe that result comes always the day after you are doing the investment. No, it takes time. It takes time. It's necessary. You need to have also the passion to wait for the result, as well as being behind, checking what is done, and adjusting as well, because nothing is frozen. When we've started, we've developed one set of training. You need to adapt, and not all the people are the same level neither. So that's why you need to be involved, and you need as well, to drive that program yourself.
Pierre, thank you very much for your insight, sharing your experiences and giving up your time, but also in particular the support that you've given to the program, which has undoubtedly made it the success that it is. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It has been my pleasure as well. Fantastic. And we'll continue to drive that program, because this is one of the key success factors of the transformation I want to have in my new, I would say, responsibility as well.
Pierre, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Pierre, what have been the outcomes of this program?
The first obvious outcome, results. Moving an organization delivering a negative profit up to positive profit. Not with one shot. What I mean is year after year, growing the revenue while delivering the profit. This is the best outcome. Why? Because through FlyEye, we could engage a huge organization, which, by the way, is difficult, When you have, when you reach a certain level of businesses and you have more than 100, employees, let's say 1,000 of employees, to get everybody aligned behind your ambition, your strategy is quite difficult. You can communicate, but the best is to get the management engaged and being able to grow in a very competitive environment. This is what I can see is it's easy to grow when the market is growing. When the market is not growing and you have a strong management that went through the training and this management is capable to demonstrate the ability to deliver whatever is happening outside, earthquake, tsunami, whatever you want, still numbers are there. This is the best of the best result for any training.
As well as the business results that have been generated, what's been the impact on the individuals within the team?
When I've started the training, if you remember, my first words were, this is a training for you. My number one objective is to develop you. Of course, the company will benefit. As a result, most of the people, they went through that training, they became directors because we have different levels in the company. You start manager 2, directors, VPs. So 80% of the population went up. Went up while being able to deliver their numbers in a very difficult environment. Some of them, and I've been always, and I'm not afraid of that, I've been always honest with them to say, you might leave the company. And some of them, they became vice presidents at big corporation, big names. I will not, be able to, give the name, but big names. And I'm happy as well. It's not, of course, I prefer they stay in the company, which is my main objectives. But it happens as well that because of what they've developed, because of their success, all of them, they've been able to evolve within the company, in different organizations, at different level or outside.